What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the 2019 Eggplane Group build. We are here with the F-16 Fighting Falcon, moving right forward, guys, and trying to get a little bit more done today. We have one more episode here, so we're going to try to push forward and try to get a lot of construction done and move on to some paint. And next episode, we'll go ahead and finish it off, and we will be done with this amazing little build. Now, last episode, we went ahead and finished off the majority of the fuselage. We got that custom engine in there. That's looking pretty sweet. So honestly, the eggplane looks, well, like it's coming along, so I'm very happy about it. Now, I was thinking about displaying this, and I know it comes with landing gears, but I'm not really excited about using those. I might want to actually try to mount this thing on some sort of a base. So we're going to go ahead and tackle that today as well. But first off, we need to go ahead and finish off the basic assembly of the little parts and pieces here underneath the aircraft. So we have to go ahead and put on both of those rear tail fins and a couple of little bits and pieces here and there. So let's go ahead and cue up a time lapse, guys, and get these finished off, and then we can move on to paint. Alright, everybody, so we have the eggplane more or less now completed. All of the major parts are on except for the landing gears, but like I said before, I didn't really want to work with the landing gears. I wanted to leave them off because I want this in a display, like it's flying. So to do that, we're going to have to make some form of a base. Now, we have a couple of different options we can do, and I'm coming off of my arc reactor, so I'm kind of in the mood to custom build something. So let's see what I have lying around the garage. So the first thing I have here is I have a little strip of 16 gauge wire. Now this is going to be perfect, I think, for the support to go ahead and house the aircraft itself. I might have to do a little bit of surgery and drill a hole into the airplane to where I can go ahead and mount this in there. But you know what? It shouldn't be that hard to do. And I'm going to probably mount it to the bottom of the fuselage somewhere so I don't disturb the engine or any of my custom build. We will have to go ahead and cover up the landing gear covers, but again, that shouldn't be that difficult. So the wire should be nice and easy to make. Also, along with the wire, we're going to need some form of a base. And for that, we have this. This is a container here, a very flimsy walled container. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this off right here along this edge. Just go ahead and follow and trace this edge right here. That should separate this compact sturdy part here at the bottom with the more flimsy part up top. Then we can use this base for our actual aircraft base itself. Now we do have some writing here we have to go ahead and sand off. We have some of these really cool little 3D shapes and whatnot down here, so we can paint that to look something cool. I've got some ideas cracking around in my head there. So we're going to go ahead and cue up another time lapse, guys, and we're going to go ahead and get this base more or less set up. Shouldn't be that difficult to do, but there's lots of little pieces and parts here, so let's just get it going and make this look awesome. Alright, so the base is looking pretty cool. I have most of the writing off and I've sanded it down, so there's a little bit left still, so I'm not really that excited about it. So what I thought I would do is I would cover it with another form of plastic. But first, we're going to go ahead and quickly prime this. With this actually primed, we're looking pretty stellar. Now we have to figure out how to go ahead and make some sort of like a 3D relief off of the top of this. To do that, I actually have cut a small disc of styrene with my circle hole cutter that's going to fit right down inside of that opening, allowing just for a little bit of space between the edge and then that white disc. So that should look pretty cool. But the problem is, of course, that the base has a bit of a curvature right there in the center. So I want to go ahead and somehow figure out how to glue this down without causing extra strain on the piece of plastic. So to do that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build in some feet on the bottom of that circular piece. And I have this little ring here that I cut off of another piece of plastic. We're going to go ahead and make little feet out of this and place those on the bottom of the white disc. We're just going to go ahead and install them using some plain old extra thin Tamiya, and that should give us a nice bit of stability when we're gluing this down to the top. Just a little bit more glue here on the pieces of plastic. I love this styrene. I mean, honestly, it's a large sheet of styrene. We can cut it, we can mold it, we can stack it. This glue works great on this. Also, plastic welder works really well too. So this is great stuff. Now go ahead and test fit this right down here. And yeah, that actually works. We have to kind of make sure it's even. But yeah, we've got a nice solid connection point in the center. And then all those feet help to keep the edges nice and flush. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and paint the rest of this actual base a nice gloss black. That's going to look really sharp, guys. Let's do it. So now we have the base painted in gloss black. I actually did a little bit of extra and I painted the aircraft in the Res primer. So this looks pretty sharp. But while that all dries, we're going to move over to the canopy. Now I'm not going to bore you with all the parts and pieces of the canopy, but we're going to go ahead and mask this off using my old tried and true method of Tamiya tape, a nice X-Acto knife, and a cutting board. That should give us what we need. And honestly, there's only like 2 little supports that we need to go ahead and make sure are uncovered when we go ahead and airbrush this. Otherwise, most of this is going to be really, really easy to mask because there's nice big open spaces, and I like it. If you're going to mask a canopy, it's better to be large open spaces than tiny little frames. Now I also want to go ahead and make sure the canopy has a frame around the bottom of it here where it attaches to the fuselage. It doesn't look like it has one molded in, so I'm going to go ahead and paint one on just by opening up a little bit of clear right there around the base. When I airbrush it, it's going to go ahead and give us at least an appearance of having a framed canopy. And otherwise, though, this is actually very simple to do. I love these larger open fields here. Just throw the tape on, call it a day. Once we get it all finished up, we're going to airbrush this whole thing black just to go ahead and give it some nice shading. And then we're going to go ahead and glue it down to the model, and we'll see where we go from there. Honestly, this is a lot easier than masking some other canopies I've done before, so not a bad deal at all. Now let's go ahead and move on to the pilot, guys. Now I've got a couple of colors here sitting aside here. I've got this awesome little olive green color. I don't know what it is because as you can see, there's nothing on the label to tell me what color green this is. I just know it's an olive green. We've got our gloss black by Model Masters Acrylics. And then we have some dark engine gray and we have some light gray as well. So all these colors here, we're going to go ahead and put on the pilot. Cue up a time lapse and just get this thing all painted up. It's not too bad. It's not too difficult, but I want to try to make it look the best I can. Then we'll probably come back at the end there and give it a wash like one of those soft tone washes that I got from the Army Painter set, something like that. So let's roll into this and get this all finished up. All right, so the aircraft is looking pretty decent off camera here. I shot the whole thing with our light gray, and that's a really nice base. We also have to come in and do a little bit of dark gray painting as well, and then we have to do a lighter gray on the front nose cone. So we're just doing that off camera, guys, because honestly, it's pretty simple to do. Let's grab that engine gray and let's shoot the back half of this F-16 and see how that turns out. That actually worked really, really well, guys. As you can see here, we have the back of this aircraft painted in engine gray. We're going to go ahead and call it quits for today. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Next week, we're going to come on back with the final finishing touches and the reveal. So until next episode, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool. We'll see you back here on the next episode of Ben Builds. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.